Good morning, everybody. Let's do a halakha for today. I was asked a question last week, I think it was. Yoshua, you might remember this upstairs during the Kiddush. Are you allowed to buy McDonald's for your workers? Remember this question, the She'elah? Remember the She'elah? Can you buy McDonald's for your workers? For the Poalim? Remember we spoke about it upstairs? Okay, but the She'elah from the other guy was, can he buy the McDonald's? Can he buy it? Yeah?
For your benefiting from it.
Yeah. So that's the She'elah for today. Are you allowed to buy not kosher food to give to your workers? And bayah? Just like that? That's the quickest you would ever saw. And bayah. And so I want to also put a disclaimer here. Ma? Yeah. Taref or kash? Taref or? Yeah.
It's not kosher. So everybody, all the guys that work, go to the truck, take the food from there. But he pay for that.
So Yeshua is saying his son has a company and he hires once a year a big food truck. The food truck is not kosher. And the goyim help themselves to that. Is that, and you're saying in bayah? Is it a she'elah or is it no she'elah?
Wait, he doesn't buy it, he just coordinates.
He's paying for it.
Or he's paying.
Yeah.
No, he's giving them money. He's
No.
not buying it directly.
No.
Even if he buys it, they're back. What's it?
Let's see. Okay, so shall we investigate this halakha or should we just assume it's okay?
Assume.
Okay.
Always the best tactic.
One disclaimer also, we'll add a part 2 to this question. Babak, you know this. As part of my retirement portfolio, what do I own? McDonald's.
Oh, it's a good question.
Is that allowed as well? You ever feel guilty about that? On buying McDonald's? And so let's start with the Mishnah. There's a Mishnah, and by the way, this is kashut to the Perashah from yesterday, because the Perashah yesterday talks about Nazir. Is Nazir allowed to have a wine business? Yoshua, can a Nazir have a wine business? Can a Nazir sell wine? Have a wine business? Asur. A Nazir cannot be in the wine business.
He's not allowed to benefit from the wine.
He might have to do a heter iska or something. You may have to sell to another person. Nazir cannot, you're not allowed to be in the business of something that's asur for you. Listen to this Mishnah. Mishnah and Shavi'it. Shavi'it is talking about Shemitah, the Pilot Shemitah. You cannot do Pilot Shemitah. Yeah? You can't work in Shemitah. Yeah? And so it says the Mishnah at the end of Shavi'it. In osim sehora beperot Shavi'it. You're not allowed to do business with the fruit that grew on Shavi'it. Business, you're not eating it. And while we're at it, v'lo b'bechorot, v'lo b'tirumot, v'lo b'nevelot. You're not allowed to sell nevelot. Nevelot is not kosher food. V'lo b'terefot, v'lo b'shikatzim, v'lo b'remasim. Sorry, you can't sell this stuff. That's what it says here. So Mishnah in Shavi'it. I'm going to read you the Bartanura. It says the Bartanura. V'lo b'nevelot, v'lo b'terefot. Kol, says the Rabbeinu Ovadia Bartanura. It says in the Pasuk, these things are tameh for you. What is the second part of the Pasuk saying? They're impure and they should be impure for you. What is the second part adding? Says the Bartanura. Not only is the not kosher food asur to eat, you can have benefit from it. Now we know that when it comes to milk and meat, it says 3 times. 1 time for eating, 1 time for cooking, 1 time for hana'ah. So we all know that the cheeseburger might be an issue of isur hana'ah. But says the Mishnah here, everything has an isur hana'ah. Now it's a question if this is an isur deoraita or drabanan. He's looking at him crazy. This is reading the Bartanura. He says, one is for the isur achila and one for isur hana'ah. And he says over here, you're not allowed to be in the horse business. You're not allowed to have horses on your farms or mules or donkeys. No, shani hani de melachtan hen gedelim velo ochel velo asul asas sehora. Animals. So you missed a bomb Mishnah in Shavuot, Moshe. The Mishnah in Shavuot says you're not allowed to do. You can't sell perot Shavuot. You can't sell bechorot, tirumot, nevelot, and terefot. Asurim b'sehora. Says the Rabbeinu Ovadia Bar Tanura. The pasuk says, "Timeim hem utmeim yulachim."
How are we selling this non-kosher meat to the goyim?
Yeah, that's the question. Timeim hem utmeim yulachim. They are tameh to you, and they are tameh to you. Twice they're tameh to you. Says Rabbeinu Ovadia Bar Tanura. It comes from this is the original source, the Mishnah Shavuot. One is for isur achila, ve'hali isur hana'a. He says, what about a sus or a pered or a hamor? The isur only applies to things that are food animals, but animals that are generally not food, which is worker animals, the isur doesn't apply. But a food item like beef, not kosher beef, would be an issue. Says the isur, says the Bartanur. V'chol davar she'isurom min haTorah asur la'asot po sehora. Says the Ben Ovadia Bartanura on the Mishnah Shavuot. Anything that's asur to eat, you can't do business in. About davar she'asuro she'isurom midivrehem. If something's only midrabanan, for example, halav Israel, maybe halav Israel, milk, it's only midrabanan, and isur la'asot po sehora, you can do that. This is Mishnah Shavuot, unbelievable Mishnah. This Mishnah is quoted in Tosafot twice. Tosafot Bava Kama, Tosafot Pesachim, and he says that it is a isur minat Torah. Tosafot Pesachim says on page 23, this isur is min ha-Torah, the few Tosafot.
Milk and meat together is the Rabbanan.
Milk and meat together is the Oraita.
No, the right side is the cooking.
No, it says it 3 times. One time it means what we are understanding what the Torah is teaching us. One time, right? It's the rabbis explaining. Yeah. But this is even past milk and meat. Now we're talking about regular Torah. So Zafot says it's isur min Torah. Most of the Rishonim, believe it or not, hold it's an isur from the Torah to sell not kosher food. Yeah, unbelievable. The goyim we're talking about. Now, Hacham Vadia in Yabir Omed, his son Hacham David, who's now the chief rabbi, he wasn't when he wrote this, he asked his father a question. I'm not going to read you the whole thing because Yabir Omed is like the big league. This is crazy. It's like 15 pages. I'll read you the opening question and we'll summarize. Hacham David Yosef asked his father as follows. He says, L'chvod Adoni Avi Morenu V'Rabbeinu Adil Roshenu Abir Haroim Sar HaTorah Posek Kador Maran HaGaon Rabbeinu Ovadia Yosef Shlita. My father Hacham Vadia, I have a question. Someone asked me a question, says Hacham David. A very wealthy guy outside of Israel, probably America. You have a guy, a Jewish guy that owns a hotel. Hilton. He decided to make his hotel a brand like Hilton. And I'm in the business of the hotel, so I understand what it means that the owner of the hotel doesn't really get involved in anything. There's management teams and everything. So the management will handle all the food and catering and everything.
Maybe it's Arkham.
Huh?
Arkham.
Oh, maybe it's Harkham. I don't know.
Because they have hotel.
No, aren't they part of
What is it called?
the Lux Hotel? Yeah, Lux Hotel. I tried to get that again. Yeah, but the Hilton's is more, the more boutique you get, the more involved the ownership is. The less boutique, which cookie cutter hotels like Hilton, you're not involved. The Hilton is everything, it's a package. They even bring you the team, the management team to run the show. And so he wants to know, is it a problem, says Hacham David Yosef, of selling non-kosher in the restaurant to the guests, even the goy guests? Because it's sehora from Nevilot and Terefot. Hacham David asked this question to his father. And so Hacham David says, Dad, with your permission, I want to be lenient and I want to say it's allowed. There's a summary, I'll read you the summary of the halakha just so we finish that. And this will be our answer for McDonald's, right? Owning some McDonald's stock is less of an investment than owning a hotel. A shareholder does nothing, right? You're a slice of a pie, tiny slice. Says Hacham Ovadia, I was asked in the summary of the halakha, I was asked about a rich guy in Huslaris. He has a hotel called the Hilton. And it's in the non-Jewish area, so there's not any problem of being choshesh that you go to field going. The hotel is called Hilton, he says, And I want to know if it's allowed because there's restaurants and there's kitchens and all that stuff, but it's being handled by the teams. And the rich guy is worried if he's going to be Oved, Isut Sihuna Mina Torah, business from the Torah. Ubini Hayakar, Rabbi David Yosef, my son, Chacham David, Nafak Dak Ve'eshkach B'tshubato Hanamata Ve'a'ela B'kohat He'etera. He wants to be lenient. He asked me for my opinion. Ve'samachti et yadi alav she'yafeh katav, and I agree with him that we can be lenient. And he has all these reasons that he's going to be lenient because you're not involved in the cooking. You have nothing to do with it. You're just an investor. But I just wanted to show you how important this question is, that even though it was a she'elah. Now, is this halakha in Shulchan Aruch, this halakha, this Mishnah that I read you, this Bartanura, you think it made it to Shulchan Aruch or it didn't? It made it to Shulchan Aruch, baby. This made it to Shulchan Aruch. And Rambam writes this. Yeah, it's a mahloket what the Rambam holds as deoraita or drabanan. Many hold that Rambam holds as even deoraita, and some hold the drabanan. This is halakha 117 in Yoreh De'ah. And I'll show you something interesting in a second. Shulchan Aruch says as follows. Let me get there. Kol davar she'asud min Torah. Anything that's asud to eat from the Torah, alfa pishmutar behana'ah. Even though it's not like milk and meat, you can have benefit from this thing. Like if you already have the thing, you can feed it to your dog or whatever. If this is beef or something that people eat, right? Lobster. Asur la'asot bo sehora. You're not allowed to do the business you can't sell these products, says Mona Shulchan Aruch. Huh? Yeah.
It's yours.
Yeah, but when you buy something, it's yours. That's the issue. That's the whole issue. Says the Ramah, this is very important, or lehalvot alav, or to take a loan, va'afilu lekanoto leha'achilo lepo'alav goim asur. Says the Ramah, even to buy.
When you say, if you have a store, you sell with that. It's
a big problem. It's a very big issue to have a non-kosher restaurant.
If you have a store that
It's asur.
אסור להפעיל פועלים.
No. You can't even have the store.
אומר לך, אסור שיהיה לך חנות לא כשר.
You cannot have a non-kosher restaurant.
יש לי שאלה אליך.
Yeah.
יש לך חנות, אתה רוצה להשכיר אותה.
I own the building. I own the building.
מותר לך להשכיר את זה?
No, I'm just a landlord. I have nothing to do with what's going on. I'm just a
אתה
landlord.
גורם, אתה משכיר לו, אתה גורם שיהיה בזה אותו.
No. The goyim. If the Yehudim, maybe. The goyim are
לא
customers.
גויים, אתה מדבר על גויים, לא יהודים.
Okay, so it's goyim. What am I doing? I'm a landlord.
אתה להביא להם סטייקים של כשר?
If it was in a Jewish area, maybe you can say I'm helping. But if it's in a non-Jewish area, I'm just a landlord. I have nothing to do with the food. I don't own the food. I own the building. Yeah? Make sense? The she'elah, I don't even want to address now. We could do part B or part C. Can you be a worker in a McDonald's? I don't own McDonald's. I just want to work. Can I get a job there? It's a whole she'elah. It's a big she'elah. So it says the Ramah, even to buy food, to feed to your goyish workers is asur. Wow. The Ramah says this. Maran doesn't say these words straight out. Maran says, Hutz mina halav. Milk. Why? Because milk is the Rabbanan. Milk is the Rabbanan. You can get involved in the milk business, no problem. Im nizdamenu, let's say, fidagim. This is the Gemara, this is the Tosafot says this, and also the Mishnah Shvi'it. If you're a fisherman, and you're fishing for tuna, or you're fishing for salmon, and in the net comes a lobster, you can sell the lobster, because it just happens to be that you got it. It's a mahloket, how far you take this thing. But im nizdamenu, we're not going to cause you to lose money, because you happened upon something, you know? But it's a question like...
That goes the same principle if someone did shchita, it was like,
Exactly. Nizdamenu. I'm not in the non-kosher beef business. Right, it just happened. I'm not intentionally doing
What
this.
happened? The shchita didn't go as planned.
Yeah. What are you supposed to do with it? You can sell it, right? Because this is not my business. Right. Now, interestingly, this is something that's interesting. Did you know this Siman Shulchan Aruch? I'm reading here the Kafa Haim. Kafa Haim was from where? Iraq, yeah? Kafa Haim Sofed. He died. Did you know he died in the middle of writing the Kafa Haim? He didn't make it to the end. You know which Siman he died on? This Siman. You know who took over for him and finished the book? You ever hear this before? No, he lived after the Ben Ish Chaim. כאן נתבקש בישיבה של מעלה הרב הגאון המחבר זכר צדיק לברכה. This is where the Kaf HaHaim died, right here, where we're talking about. ומכאן והלאה עד סוף הספר, from here until the rest of the Kaf HaHaim, כתב הספר, ליקטתי ואספתי מאשר השיג ידי, I am finishing the job, אנוכי הצעיר, me the young rabbi באלפי ישראל, עובדיה יוסף ספרתי טהורה. Chacham Vadia finished the book. He finished the Kaf HaHaim. You know, in my opinion, this should be like the first accolade of Chacham Vadia. Nobody even mentions it. And on the Siman, so we can see what he says. It's not the Kaf HaHaim. And later on, he writes here that he quotes the Shach, where he says, I lost the page, because Chacham Vadia writes forever. He says, even to give a matana, from a nevela to a goy, as a gift, you shouldn't do it. He quotes the Shach.
Same goes with Yain Nesser.
Yain Nesser is a very similar issue. So it's very strict. And so now we have a she'elah. What do we do? You can say that's a nizdamin. Nizdamin. I think, yeah, so let me say, for the ozeret, this is a layered question, so I don't want to lose track. Let's go with the ozeret first. There's a mahloket between the shach and the taz, whether an in-house housekeeper.
No, she's not living in it.
No, not living, but she's yours in your house. She's almost like a ben bayit. And just let me say the shach and the taz. So the question is, the shach and the taz of a mahloket, if it's upon you to feed them when they're working, if part of the gig is that you feed them, they're almost like a ben bayit. It's a mahloket. The Taz says you can't do it. The Shach says you can feed it to them. It's a mahloket. But otherwise, you could say if a gift, the company all the time. I'm in the hotel business, so I got a big, huge bottle of wine from one of my. It's nizdamen, Ilan. It's nizdamen. It's not my business. It's like if an animal crawls into my front yard and dies, I can't give it to the guy. Like, take it to the guy. You want to eat it, Chinese? My dad used to have a restaurant. Next door was a non-kosher Chinese restaurant. One day we saw them unloading roadkill. There was a deer on top of the roof. They brought it into their restaurant. They're going to cook it. Yeah, a deer walks into my yard and dies. Nizdamin. It's not my business. You can give this as a matana. Nizdamin. So that's what I would say for that. The she'elah is, can you buy McDonald's for your workers after they did a job? Or your son's business, can I pay for the whole truck and do it? It's a big she'elah. It's not so clear. For McDonald's, if there's basar v'halav, I know, but look, there's an isur here. There's an isur. Isur. No, nothing to do with hana'ah. It's isur sehora. You're not allowed to give it. It doesn't matter if you're nogeya. Yeah, it's a big she'elah.
You can say the same thing. It's not my business anyway. I do it once a year. It's not
Yeah,
my business.
you could say that. Can I tell you what I did? Listen to this. First of all, I want to say it's a very serious question. It's a very serious question. If you buy the food yourself and you take the sakit and you take the McDonald's and you give it to the guy, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. It's basar halav, and even if without the cheese, it's sehora. I'm not sure that's allowed. Rather, give the guy a few bucks and say, guys, go buy yourself something to eat. In my last company, I'm talking about 10 years ago, I was a manager over 100 employees, goyim. And we used to do year events like your son. So we did it at the bowling alley, Pins. We went to Pins Bowling Alley. So what did we do? You get bracelets. I give you a bracelet. Your bracelet is valid for a meal and 2 drinks. You go get it yourself. I will provide the bracelets. I will provide the vouchers, like maybe a ticket.
But you paid.
I'm paying for it, but what am I buying? I'm buying a ticket. I'm not buying food.
You give them money.
Yeah, it's basically money. You go redeem
The
it.
bracelet raises a question because the bracelet is only good for that.
But at the time that I bought it, I didn't buy anything.
They can buy
It's
drinks.
only good for that.
Oh, yeah, they
venue
could buy
to be
drinks.
used, huh?
Yeah, and you can't stop a goy from eating non-kosher. I don't want to be in this.
You didn't do it direct.
Exactly.
What I say, let me ask you a question. You're renting the truck. It doesn't mean that they have to go and eat from it. They cannot go and eat from it. But you're renting the truck. And they can go eat whatever they want. They cannot eat whatever they want.
I am
But you're
in.
renting the truck. You're not renting the food. You're not getting the food.
Yossi brings up a valid point. They also sell other things in the truck.
Chips, water.
So not
food.
necessarily. It's a good question. I am not going to be the guy saying this is asud be'echlet. It's a she'ela. That's the most I'm going to say. It's a she'ela. It's not so clear. It's a mifurash Shulchan Aruch. So
You can give them money or they can.
that's
they
the.
can
So if you can be strict, the Rama says matana is asud. He's more strict. We're not sure if the Marano agrees. What I would advise is this is more of an advisement halakha rather than 100%.
אתה נהנה, יש לך טובת הנאה, אבל אם יש לך חנות ואתה משכיר אותה לגוי והוא רוכש
No,
את זה,
that's just a
אין בזה
landlord.
טובת הנאה. יש לך גם
That's
בזה
like the
טובת
Hilton question. You're just a
הנאה.
landlord.
זה גם טובת הנאה.
That's just the Hilton question. What I would say is this.
אין לך טובת הנאה? You
Yeah.
have a store for-
Tovat hana'ah, that's once removed, is not
יש לו
asur.
טובת הנאה מהחנות, לא
Yeah.
שהוא מוכר, לא מהסחורה. אתה נותן real estate.
It's removed. How do you say removed? I mean, mesid mizeh. What I would say is this, just to summarize so we can continue on our Sundays here. I'm not going to be the guy to say right now, it's asur to rent a truck for your goyim workers. All I'm saying is this.
He's not looking for somebody to say so.
He wants to
Somebody
mutar.
say mutar. He wants to be the guy who says
What I would say is this. What I would say, Moshe, what I would say is this.
He was trying to get out of it.
Huh?
He's not ready.
You're paying for the whole truck for the night, yeah?
לא, הוא לא משכיר את הטראק.
You're paying the guy for the night.
But he's not telling them what to purchase.
Right.
They purchase brisbane.
You're tiptoeing in gray area, and I would say this: use your Jewish brains and use a voucher system, use a ticket system. There's probably a kosher way to go about it without violating this isud, which some hold is an isud minat Torah. But if you're less than not Yeshua's son,
You can bring the truck. You can tell the employee like this: I'm going to give you money.
you don't want to give them cash,
After-
so you give them vouchers.
Why?
I'm going to give you money.
I mean, you can give them cash. I would do vouchers or cash, and then you. But a regular guy who's just working on a house with his work construction, and he has 3 guys in the back of his truck to go order the McDonald's. I'm not so comfortable with this. I think give them the money, give them the $20. You guys go have a good time. It's a very interesting
But
shayla.
the wine you help me because I get a bunch of wines that are not kosher. I give it to the gardener.
I did the same thing.
Yeah,
It's misdamen.
Nizdamen Elai.
Yeah.
Believe me, I'll do more research on this, and we'll do like a part B. But this is a good start for now.
How did he answer about the hotel?
He said it's allowed. He said as long as Chacham Odia says at the end, don't get involved in any culinary decisions. Chacham Odia writes in the Biyah Omer.
Be removed from it.
But don't have the menu, don't attend the meetings, nothing. I have nothing to do with the food in this place. All I am is the money guy. That's what Chacham Odia
If
says.
you want to buy, if you want
Anyway,
to.
it's not an halachic recommendation. It's a good business.
It's a good business decision.
You always need the money.
Y'all have a wonderful day.
If you want to have